If you want to, for example, create a few more detailed shadows, for example, in the face, for example, like here in the eye, or for example, you can also move it over here and then all of a sudden you have a shadow right there. Wow, look at that. Doesn't that look great? This is what you can do in Vanilla Blender. You basically just create a material, which is a mix between transparent BSDF and then emission. So it's basically a half transparent black material, which then basically just darkens what is behind it. The one downside to this is that if you have two transparent materials that cover each other, you get this overlapping effect, and then it basically combines those two and creates an even darker material. That's like one of the downsides to using this kind of setup. But there's an advanced setup that you can use in Goo Engine, which uses a new node, and you might not even notice like what is happening. But if I move the hat, you can see there's like this very clean shadow right here, right? Do you see the shadow? It always moves with the hat. But it also somehow is only affecting the skin. And if I select this, you can see there's some kind of like transparent object right here. But so how does this work? So it's kind of like a screen-based shading setup, which uses Goo Engine's screen space info node. What does the screen space info node actually do? First of all, for the screen space info node to work, we need to go to render settings first of all and make sure that screen space reflections and refraction is enabled. Then we need to make sure that in the shader settings, we go to ray trace refraction and we enable this. And now we can see what is happening. It basically just shows what is behind the object that you look at, which means that if you, for example, now use something like camera data and you use something like a vector math, the camera data basically inputs into the shader what you see basically. And so if you plug this into the view position, nothing should change. But if we now plug this into here, nothing should change because it is still on 0. But now if we change the value here, you can see all of a sudden we move what is behind the plane. But if we look back into it, it hasn't moved. So this is what the screen space info does. It takes what is behind the camera and then you can affect what is behind the camera through the lens of this material. So how do we use this for the hat? The object looks like this, okay? It's just like a weird shape like that, okay? And then we use the screen space info node to look through the object. But what we want to do is not just, we don't just want to look through the object. We want to make the object affect something. And what we want to affect is the skin of Luffy, for example. And we will only want to see the shadows on the skin color, the skin highlight color. The way we can do that is we can use a mix RGB node set to difference. It basically subtracts A from B or B from A, it's kind of the same thing. And that is the output of the color. And what we're looking for is an exact match, something that is 0, aka black. So now we're getting this blue, but we also have these black parts because the black parts are the color that we're looking for, that we selected in difference, right? So now we just say greater than 0.01, and now we have separated what is the color from what isn't the color. And if we plug that now into the mix shader, that is mixing transparent versus emission, it basically means if it has this bright skin color, it will apply the shader color wherever you look through the material. And if it isn't that color, then it doesn't have any effect. So even if we move this now around, you can see if we move it completely off the model, nothing gets affected by this. And that's how this can be so useful. And if we use this, for example, for the eye, and we stack multiple of these on top of each other, it doesn't actually create a multiplied or an additive effect because it still just compares the colors. This is why this can be so useful, because then you can handcraft even more shadows. Like, for example, here, the shadow under the chin, you can handcraft and stuff like that. And that is why I also said that you don't really need cast shadows, because you can simulate them if you need them. If you want to learn more about 3D anime, make sure to check out my free 3D anime course here on YouTube. In there, I basically try to condense all the information that I have gathered over the last 2.5 years of creating my projects and learning things and researching things and testing things, basically. And I've tried to put it all into this one course for free, which you can see and find on YouTube. So if you're curious about that and want to learn more and go more in depth in creating your own 3D anime, for example, make sure to check out the description where you'll find the link to it. Otherwise, I guess you can also just enjoy more of these clips if you want. So yeah, do whatever you want.